welcome to Rewatch Talk Live. Tonight we will be talking about planes, trains, and automobiles starring Steve Martin and John Candy because it is the Thanksgiving season. And to be honest, there's not much pickings for Thanksgiving movies. I guess we could have done Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving. What do you think, Liz? Would that have been a good one to do too?
That probably would have been a good one, yeah.
I mean, we could have spent well, we can still spend a few minutes on it. Do you have your popcorn and toast ready? I don't either. I'm not prepared for that one because if we were going to do that, I would have had popcorn and toast. Then that would have been fun.
Yeah, that would have worked. That would have worked.
Yeah, that would work. But today we are discussing John Hughes, uh, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which was an upgrade from his teen movies. As you know, 16 Candles and Breakfast Club and another one I think he did. Somebody's Day Off. Wasn't my day off, that's for sure.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yep, yeah, he did that one too. And so this was his first getaway, from doing teen movies, more adult fare comedy. Uh, this was like harking back to the old buddy pictures of Hope and what's his name? Gosh, Bob Hope.
Bing Crosby.
Bing Crosby, yes. Thank you, Liz. But, that's what I thought of when I watched this movie or over the years, that it was like the buddy movies back then were common fare. I mean, you had 48 Hours, which was a buddy movie of sorts, right?
Yeah, Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, I mean, they were opposites. Well, one was a criminal and one wasn't. But, so I guess you can't get more opposite than that, can you? But this one puts a surly old grumpy man against a jovial big man. John Candy, his character is Dell, and Steve Martin is Neil. And they are both trying to get to Chicago for Thanksgiving. And Liz, Neil has a discount. A discount. Maybe he does. He has a deadline to get home because he wants to be home with he's trying to get home before Thanksgiving, right? Or on Thanksgiving. And,
for Thanksgiving, yeah, for Thanksgiving dinner with the family.
And he gets delayed in New York. It all starts out bad. Well, it starts out with John Candy still in his cab without John Candy knowing about it, but that was hijinks. And of course, in the beginning, if you paid attention, Kevin Bacon made an appearance. All he did was
it started out even delaying him even earlier than that when he's in the office and it's like, I gotta go. It's taking too long.
That dude is taking forever on those photos.
I know.
I don't know what. I mean, it must be for an ad, right? Because he was in marketing, so
he was a Yeah, it was marketing sales. Yeah.
And it's like Thanksgiving, and this dude just keeps looking at him. And I can't remember. And he was a great character actor too, but I can't remember his name.
No, I can't either at the moment.
But if you saw him, you'd go, oh yeah, what's his name? He was a great character actor.
He was in like 100 other movies we've all seen.
Yeah, you'd recognize him. But I guess so much for us having knowledge of this movie. So at this, but well, I guess we do know that, and we'll tell you right now that the budget for this movie was $15 million, and the box office was rounded up to 50 mil, and it ran for 92 minutes, and the release date was November 25th, 1987. So it was a holiday movie, and why you might say, well, it made 3 times that much. The movie still lost money. You're not going to make money. This is a holiday movie. You're supposed to be making buku bucks on a when you do this, right? I mean, so I just don't think it made any money, even though it might have made a profit at the box office. But a lot of things are going to eat into that movie. Well, as we're always told, no movie makes a profit. Not even Titanic made a profit. So that's what we're supposed to believe, that no movie can make a profit, right?
Yeah, and if you believe that, I have a wonderful bridge to show you in Arizona.
Yeah. Just ask Christopher Columbus about they're not making a profit. I'm sure it helped him do a lot of other things after he got that paycheck. But Oh, he's supposed to be a client. That guy with the thing is that he's after running late with the business meeting with the indecisive client named Mr. Bryant.
Yeah.
And he's looking at his watch saying he has to go. And I think he finally gets out of there. But
He does.
Yeah, he
But
does.
the guy that he's with though, he's like, no, don't try to rush it. Don't try to rush it. And I have to laugh because I would love to know if that guy wound up back home before he did. Because it sounds like they came from the same spot in Chicago.
Well, he was waiting for the later flight.
Yeah, he was waiting for the 6 o'clock one.
Don't run because take the later flight with me, and you'll still be home in time for Thanksgiving. But the old hat was set to go. So
I think it would have been funny if right at the end, as they're at the end of the movie, when they're, I'm not going to spoil too much, when they're walking up to the house, though, it would have been funny if the guy drove by like on his in his car or something. Oh, you enjoy your Thanksgiving. We've had a wonderful time here, type of thing.
yeah, you're right.
Or I spent the last 3 days with my mother-in-law, and I'm so tired of it. Just
yeah. Get home and say, okay, I'm ready to go now. I'm ready to go back on the road. Yeah, that's it. But fine, guys. That was a nice 10 minutes. So yeah, oh, there he is. Okay, it's William Wyndham played Mr. Bryant. He's uncredited, that's why. But he is the indecisive client. If you look him up, you will go, oh yeah, that's what's his name. He was in this movie and that movie. So he was a great character actor. I don't know. It's, what you would know. He died in 2012. So like I said, he was known as a character actor. Thank you for having being tongue-tied. It was a stage actor and stage and screen. So oh, he was on Murder, She Wrote. He was the sidekick. Oh, okay, that's not familiar. I thought. I mean, he looks. He's more. Have you ever saw any of the Murder She Erased?
She wrote, and yes,
Yeah.
Angela's actually a cousin a couple times removed of mine. I was seeing where it was filmed and everything as well.
Okay, well, he was the doctor. He was that companion.
Okay.
So
that's why he looked familiar.
Yeah,
okay.
and he really didn't say anything because he couldn't recognize his voice because all he did was sigh, right? Go,
something like that.
Yeah, and we've all had customers or clients like that. If you've ever worked retail or at Bird Marketing, where no one can decide on jack, and you sit there forever.
It's the same way in nursing too.
I imagine it's the same way in any profession that you choose about people that cannot make up their mind.
Their minds, yeah.
Because we're all indecisive at times. I mean, even I am at times. Because sometimes things hit you and you're like, what? But then you forget to sit down and relax and say, fuck it. So, when did you see this movie in the theaters, Liz?
Yes, I did.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I actually think my best friend and I played hooky from college one day from our classes and ducked out and saw a matinee of it.
Okay. So do you have like any first impressions when you watch this for the first time?
It's been so long. All I remember is it was fun. I've always been a Steve Martin fan, so it's like it was fun to watch and enjoy his comedy.
Right.
And I do remember laughing a lot, but then again, every time I've watched it over the years, I still laugh at it. So
yeah, well, my friends and I were big Steve Martin fans, and we started getting to know him when he was doing his Justice comedy albums. So we jumped from the albums to the movie.
Oh yeah. Did you do any of his musical stuff?
Well,
he's quite a banjo musician.
Yeah, that's what I hear. And I think I tried to hear, I mean, I listened to it, but I really wanted the comedy. That was me. Yeah. I wanted to hear him tell jokes. But I'm just saying that, when he did the movie The Jerk, we already knew, he already told the movie, being born a poor black child, which would not probably fly today. But this was the 70s, so you can get away with it. Wasn't that was a time when you could actually say something without getting your ass kicked by stupid cancel culture.
Exactly.
So everybody would get uptight about that. But they still showed the movie. But since it's so old, well, you never know. They try to cancel everything that happened 100 years or 200 years ago. They keep trying to cancel stuff that far back. So it doesn't. Anyway, we're not here to talk about cancel culture. We're just here to talk about Steve Martin, John Candy. And John Candy was still kind of starting out here from SCTV in Chicago. I don't know if he did anything before this. Didn't all those movies start after this, like Uncle Buck and the other things that he did?
Didn't Uncle Buck start in like 86?
Well, maybe you're right, but I mean,
but all about that same time frame, within
because I mean, he was in
2 or 3 years either side.
Yeah, you're right, but he probably had. You're right, he probably did. Which after Uncle Buck, he probably but he had other. But then he was in Spaceballs the same year as this movie came out too.
Yeah.
So I mean, he had a double whammy that year, and everybody, well, not everybody, but people enjoyed Spaceballs if you like parodies of science fiction.
Thank you. Now that you mentioned that, all I can see is him in a Chewbacca outfit or bear outfit,
whatever he was wearing, right?
Whatever it was.
Yeah. But I looked to see what movies came out that year, because this movie finished 29th for that year in gross.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm just, what? Oh, was he in Home Alone? Uncle Buck.
I don't remember.
Well,
I don't remember John Candy being in it.
I don't remember seeing him in Home Alone, but that's a long time ago. I'm trying to figure out his list here. But 89 was Uncle Buck. So Uncle Buck was 2 years after Planes and Trains.
After it, okay.
Then 88 was The Great Outdoors. 93 was Cool Runnings. It says here 90 Home Alone. But that means he would have been in the movie with that kid before
Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah, before Home Alone made him, busted him out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's what I'm seeing here on Google, and that's never wrong.
Huh.
Oh yeah, I mean, I saw that movie, Summer Rental. That came out in 85. So oops. So he probably did. Let's see, he did a few before that. The only thing he did before that, movie-wise, is Spaceballs. That was 87. I thought it came out the same year. But anyway, I don't know what. Oh, Who's Harry's Crumb in 89. All right. He was in Splash. He was in Splash. But I can't remember him being in these movies. Can you? Splash?
I don't remember him in Splash either.
Yeah, I mean, I
mostly remember Tom Hanks for that.
Yeah, well, you always remember the stars, but I don't remember him. I'm trying to remember him. Yeah, he was in Stripes, because he was the bold.
Yes, he was in Stripes.
Stripes. That's 81, so we're talking 6 years before. So he had some kind of a history before he did this movie. So that's cool. Unfortunately, he passed away too young.
Yeah.
But other than that, like I said, Kevin Bacon, it was his idea to be in the movie. And this was like beforehand. He was talking to John Hughes and said, if you got a part for me, I'll do it. And he's already in New York. So John Hughes said, well, come on down. So that was like a walk-on thing,
I figures because it was so short and it was just, I'm going to get that cab.
Yeah. And plus, this would have been, when did Footloose come out? Do you remember?
No,
I've seen the movie.
Oh, I've seen it 1,000 times. I just don't remember.
It is a kind of a flick, but
you can say it. It's a chick flick.
Yeah, Footloose was 84, so we already had a name in Footloose and probably a few others when this thing came out. But it was like just a walk-on thing, and he just ran for his life. I don't know, down the New York streets trying to get a cab, which he did
Yeah.
accomplish to Neil's dismay because they both were racing for this thing. But Kevin Bacon was a little bit younger than Steve Martin, so he probably could. Plus, we knew it was Footloose, so he should be able to beat him in a race, right?
I would hope so.
But is that the only thing that Kevin Bacon's really known for is Footloose? I mean, he's been in a lot of movies that I've seen. Don't get me wrong, he has been in a lot of movies, but isn't that his signature movie, Footloose?
I think it's probably his signature movie, yeah.
So, so I mean, I can't really see. Anyway, he's been around. He started in other films, but Footloose seems to be the one that made, was the hit, I guess. I don't say hits, but
it was the hit, and the music was the hit as well. I
yeah,
mean, Kenny Loggins really, did a good job with that.
Oh yeah, he made his nut on that movie, didn't he? Oh my god.
Oh God, yeah.
I mean, this, so.
In fact, I was listening to something on a kind of a side note with Kenny Loggins. He had said that he had written, was it 4 or 5 songs for that year for movies for that, taken awards for it. Top Gun, Footloose, but Top Gun came out in '86. But I guess he had written the stuff for Footloose earlier.
Well, yeah, they usually get a head start if they can.
Yeah.
I mean, not always, but they'd like to get a head start. They'll write multiple songs.
Yeah, well, with Top Gun, that was just a out of the blue thing. He didn't get a start to it. Oh, with Footloose, what he was saying with that is that it was the first time he had actually ever written a song where it was choreographed to the song, not the song already written, and then it had to be choreographed.
Okay.
So everything was all done.
Yeah, you're right. They had to dance to it, so it'd be nice to get that beforehand, so they could all practice to it. You're right about that. I'm still trying to figure out why it was filmed in Batavia, but it was, in some of it, New York and South Dakota. Well, South Dakota was supposed to be Nebraska, I think.
Probably. It could very well have to do with licensing rights and taxes.
It might also be the only place I can find a train station, so I don't know.
Could be.
I'm just saying, that was the main, that's what they have listed. And there's also a scene in Braidwood, Illinois. So maybe that was the house that they ended up at.
Could be.
Because I have to figure this out. So yeah. That could be the house that they ended up at, when they did all that, the end there, when they all met.
Yeah.
Where his wife and kids are supposed. Well, the outside, I'm sure the inside was probably I don't know.
The sound studio, soundstage, probably, yeah.
Because they usually don't let you. But anyway.
Not unless they're Hallmark movies nowadays, and they'll go and they'll rent out a house and they'll use the whole thing.
Yeah, they will do that. But sometimes, the owner, they'll use the outside, but the owner doesn't want, she's not going to come in here and take my stuff down and try to put it back. They probably do take photos and make sure they get everything back when they're done with it. But that seems awful time consuming. So that's just me. So, but it seems easier just to build a set and just, not have to worry about tearing it down every day or after you're done and trying to put things back the way they were. But
that's why so many of the movies in the 80s and the 90s we recognize in so many different movies and shows. It's because it was basically a soundstage.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they built the Home Alone house in that high school there in Chicago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, the gym was high enough to build that 2-story house. That's where they filmed it. I mean, the inside. I mean, they used the outside, but yeah, they built the inside. And that way you could just move cameras around and do what you need to do without having to worry about tearing down walls and stuff. You know what I mean? It's easier when you own the stuff than renting it. and have all these. But anyway, so anyway, we got these two. They get delayed in New York, and then they meet up. They meet up at the airport after the taxi thing. You got anything more at the beginning there, Liz? Besides the guy with the pictures, and then Kevin Bacon, and then them trying to get a cab, and the one guy saying, "Why don't you wait till a later flight?"
It's because the trunk when they got the cab. He
Yeah,
had dropped the trunk, and then he got Steve Martin's character got his flagged down the cab and everything. It was his, but then John Candy threw his trunk in the back, and he kind of stole the cab.
But wasn't that no? Didn't he buy the cab from the other guy for $75? And while he's doing that, John Candy's doing
yes.
Then he sees this trunk driving away, but he paid $75. Well, he was a true lawyer character, wasn't he? Well, if
yes.
$50, you'd pay $75.
I forget what Steve Martin's line was about, and the guy comes back, close enough, I'm a lawyer.
Yeah. I don't remember either, but he's
you're a devil or something.
Yeah,
close enough, I'm a lawyer.
Close enough, I'm a lawyer, but yeah. But it was all in vain because his cab was long gone. So,
yeah. And then
you did see John Candy's face real quick out the window. And that was the opening scene there.
And that
the montage,
Yeah, and then because that was when he tried to chase down the cab at the stoplight. But then when they met up again at the airport, John Candy's like, I know you.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it flashes through his mind, oh God, he was the guy with the cab.
Yeah. Yeah, because after all that time to get to the airport, their flight was delayed because of the weather. So they're stuck at the airport, and they happen to sit across from each other. So, which could happen.
I swear to God, if I knew any person flying, let alone if I was married to them or not, if they were as messy as he would, I would have killed them. I'm sorry, I can't handle that.
Well, that's all. Well, that's right. That's all part of the character then, because that annoyed Steve Martin or his character Neil to no end. I mean, that was part of the whole friction part.
Yeah.
Steve Martin wanted to be on time. He was clean. I guess you could say he was probably conservative. I'm not saying John Candy wasn't, but he was more, a friendly type or more jovial and would talk to people. And even though he wouldn't shut up like me and annoy people. So, but it was like I said, it was one of those buddy movies for Thanksgiving, which I just can't think of. You probably watch a lot of Thanksgiving movies on Hallmark, Liz, right?
I started watching Hallmark back in October for Christmas. Thank you. I'm one of those people.
I'm talking about Thanksgiving too. So I would imagine Hallmark would have some Thanksgiving movies up about it, or are they just doing Christmas? They always do Christmas.
No, they do year round as far as what the holiday is. They do the holiday. They do the Thanksgiving, the Valentines. So okay. Yeah, they're around the year.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. You don't really get many Thanksgiving movies. So, except for, we all know Charlie Brown Christmas. That's been around forever.
And there's one that keeps sticking in my head, but I think it is probably more Christmas than Thanksgiving. And that's Dutch.
Right. And I know right now in theaters is that horror movie called Thanksgiving.
Oh, no, I'm talking about a movie that came out in the 80s. I think maybe 82, Dutch.
I don't remember that at all.
Why can't I think of his name? It's the guy that played Ted Bundy on Married with Children.
Yeah.
Is the lead actor.
Oh, I forgot to say hello to Tanya because I wasn't paying attention to the comments because I was too busy screwing around with my little intro there. But if you're still out there, Tanya, hello, and thanks for stopping by.
Hi, Tanya. Love the cup.
Yeah, that's right. You did get a cup from her, didn't you?
Yeah, I got the cup, and it is phenomenal.
Oh, to Tanya's right. I'm only 2 minutes late from seeing her comment, but who knows? And she's listening to us on YouTube, which is awesome. But So they're just stuck there at the airport, and then they just I don't know. They decide to well,
They get on the later flight, wind up there on the same flight.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. And he's well, yeah, because Neil's trying to get his first class seat.
Yeah.
So Tanya says, "Yay, thank you so much." I guess she's thanking you for, talking about her cup.
Ah, you're
Well,
back at work
I don't care
already.
where you watch it, Tanya, as long as you watch it. I don't, it's I understand that.
I thought she was still on vacation.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, or unless she's working from home or something like that. I don't know. I thought she was too because she was saying she wouldn't be on the sports talk for a while. Didn't
Yeah.
she? Yeah. Well, maybe she's got a little free time here. So,
Yeah. Neither
wants
you
to-
nor her were there.
if she wants to listen to us while she's working, or maybe her work includes her doing more cups. She didn't say what type of work it was.
Oh, she has another really cool one up on the site that I'm actually thinking of getting that one too.
Another
It's
one?
really cute.
Oh, Liz,
Yeah.
you get addicted.
Well, no, I wasn't going to get it for me. I was thinking about getting it for my husband. It's a cute cup.
Okay, but still, you're buying another. Well, that's fine. I mean, that's cool that you got support Tanya like that. I mean, she does a lot. I mean, I've seen her cups, so I know how. I've seen other people buy them. She works on them while we're doing the show. Some of those shows, sometimes she'll sit there working on her shit. I mean, her stuff, and I try to watch my language. But you can see,
Tanya, you can come and backhand him anytime you want to pop in.
oh man, I deserve that. I can tell you that right now. So yeah, he was a mess on that. Yeah, that was funny how they ended up together, right there at this, sitting to each other, and he's like, has all this stuff spread out, his food and everything, and Neil's like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. So, I think she liked your comment. So, well, I guess I'm sure Neil wanted to backhand Dell after sitting next to him in that airplane with him making a mess and talking and stuff. But yeah,
Then they got rerouted because the storm shut them down over Chicago, so they got rerouted to Kansas, I think it was.
yeah, Omaha,
Yeah.
of all places. But yeah, they get rerouted to Omaha.
The
Yeah,
only thing that I think of with Omaha is life insurance and Merlin Perkins. And you'd probably be the only one out here of the same age that knows what I mean by that.
Yep. Perkins would send his buddy to go. He's like, I'm going to, like, what was that guy's name, the younger guy's name? And
Steve something.
Yeah. I'm going to send Steve out to check out the lion while I hide behind this rock. So,
I know.
So that was on every Sunday too, wasn't it? You'd watch Omaha.
Yes, it was.
Mutual of whatever, or Mutual of Omaha.
Mutual of Omaha's Animal, whatever.
And the Disney movie would come on, right? Right after 7
yeah,
o'clock,
I think so.
8 or 9, 8 o'clock with the Disney movie, because make sure the kids can watch it before they have to go to bed.
Oh yeah.
Because back then, people had to be in bed at a certain time. They didn't stay up all night with their phones because unless they took that phone in bed with them.
I just stayed up all night with my book. So.
Well, whatever. Same thing. We all found something to occupy our time when we went to bed. Something. Anyway, but yeah, they end up in Omaha. I'm trying, because I'm trying, and I'm trying to figure out their flight plan. They go to Omaha, which means they overshot Chicago, and now they're trying to get back to Chicago, and they keep, missing, and then they keep trying to find these finagled, there's other ways to get there while waiting for, because there's they can't get out of Omaha, and that's when they share that room. Because they couldn't get out, but Dell was able, got himself a room.
Yeah.
Because Dell knows people.
Uh-huh.
At least he thinks he does.
Well, it seems like he did because he kept
Yeah.
getting, different things given to him.
Yep.
But I just absolutely love, I laugh my ass off when that girl sneaks in and swipes the money from both of them and they're
Yeah.
sound asleep.
Well, I just like the taxi that they were in.
Oh, God.
I mean, that was something else. That taxi. I mean, had those nudie pictures up there on his above his window. I mean, yeah, it was
Yeah, it,
in
it
his.
had the shock. Oh, I forget what they're called, and I used to know, which raises the car up and down.
Oh yeah,
Why can't
yeah.
I think of it? Oh well.
But but it was like, oh, I mean, it was in the montage. I don't think I have it as a single thing loaded up, but that car with the horns on the front and every. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
it makes you, like, okay, so this is redneck country for sure. But was it a girl that robbed him? I thought it was a guy.
It
I
was
guess
a it
you
was a
couldn't tell.
girl. It was a
Was
girl.
it, was it really?
Yep.
All right. Well, I didn't know that. I just, I guess I didn't pay that much attention. I just assumed since it was a thief, it was a guy.
No, if you notice when she takes off the ball cap to hide the money, all her hair comes down.
Ah, so it's not a hippie.
And I don't think you would get the impression of a hippie in that area during that time frame.
Okay. I guess that's how much I paid attention, right? I thought I was paying attention, didn't even know, couldn't, I don't know. I get all I know is that she was robbed, and
Now, of course, don't you love the little cuddle buddy puddle they had?
oh my gosh, that I guess that was it for. I mean, that was supposed to be the main joke. There was those aren't pillows, or was that
Yeah.
later on?
No, that was the same thing
Yeah.
because John Candy's character had kissed Steve Martin. Dale had kissed Steve Martin's character on the ear, and he's like, "Why did you kiss me on the ear?" Yeah, so
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they
and
were.
then they wound up talking about the pillows.
Yeah, you're right. So you're right. All right. So let's see. I think.
Can you imagine
Okay, there's a
if
picture of the
Roger
car
and
if you can
Peter
see.
had to share a bed together overnight during that situation? What would happen?
What's that?
Can you imagine if Roger and Peter were trapped somewhere overnight and had to spend the night together in the same bed?
I try not to.
They'd kill each other.
I don't know. I don't know how that would work out. But perhaps you're right. I mean, I don't know them in that context of them, hanging out. All I know is how they act when they're online when we do our
I,
shows.
yeah,
But
I just know
I
they're
get
good
what you're
friends.
saying. But I get what you're
Yeah,
saying. I can see that, the way they go back and forth sometimes while we're trying to do a show and they want to take shots at each other. But that's cool. That's part of the show.
yeah. I just know they've been really, really good friends for a lot of years.
Yeah, I know. I know that. So
I like the
after,
hustle that Dell did after they realized they got robbed. The hustle he did going out and getting all this money so they got a little bit of pocket cash.
well, he was good at what he did, I
Yeah,
suppose. I mean, think about that. He, I mean, it was, the best one was when he told those girls they looked 2 years older to wear those shower curtain rings and they handed him
I
money
know.
right away. But that's how some the girls are. They want to be older instead of younger, right?
Oh, I know. We all did.
I'm just saying that seemed like that was the magic word. You look 2 years older, and that's all they wanted to hear. So
Hmm.
they handed him fistful of cash. But yeah, he
Now
did.
I said nowadays we just want to look 2 years younger.
Yeah, we want to go in reverse. So I guess if he would have said you look 2 years younger, you'd hand him over cash for shower curtain rings.
Oh hell yeah!
I probably would too. Even if he told me it was a nose ring, he said, "Yeah, you look younger. Okay, I'll take. Here's my money. Put it in my nose, and wander around and wonder why no one's talking to me, or kept looking at me strangely because I have a ring in my nose." But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, that showed that his ingenuity there. I mean, but plus he showed that he was actually a salesman. I mean, he said he was, and he was able to get their money back after they accused each other of stealing each other's money.
And they both find out they have nothing.
Yeah. So you're right, and that was his ingenuity was selling those rings like he did, and I don't know. So I mean, I think what they made $100. I think is what he said, or something
Well,
like
he
that.
had 100 left, and
Was that
they
after
had
breakfast?
already, yeah. And of course, back then breakfast was not that much.
Well, no, and
$100 was doing really, really well, actually.
in '87, yeah, you were. I mean, it would go. Well, of course, it was '87. That was. I think the movie. This is the 36th year of the movie, right now. On
Something like that,
25th,
yeah.
36 years. So I mean, almost 40 years ago, that would have went quite a while. I don't know what he charged those people for the rings, but either he charged a lot or he sold quite a bit to get to 100 or whatever, had $100 left. I mean,
Well, they were handing over $5 bills right and left.
yeah, they were. You're right. They were giving them fivers. You're right. They were. It
So
was like,
maybe he was doing it for $4.99. I don't
I don't
know.
know, maybe just saying for a nickel you can get these rings. I don't know how many came in the pack. Just two.
I don't know.
Anyway, it was. Well, that was what got him out of that part of it. Anyway, I mean, and it was always interesting how Dell always kept coming up. Well, you get the one this time. Well, Dell bought some stuff. No, he didn't. I think Dell kept trying. Well, I'll get you back. Because he didn't have any money. Except when he
Well,
got
that's
those
why
rings.
Steve kind of blew up with him at the end. It's like, you're a user, I've done everything.
Yeah, you're right. And he did, but I think but still he got the money to help him out. I mean, it wasn't like he was useless. I mean, he did prove that he had uses.
Yeah.
But I mean, but he annoyed Neil for. I mean, you see it the whole movie. I mean, back and forth, arguing. They do have their moments. Their their boyo. Their whatever you want to call them. The bro moments, right?
Oh yeah.
They had
What
those.
did you think of when they got that car and they're driving down one the wrong way on the road, but then his jacket gets caught and they spin out, and how it flashed to, all of a sudden, Del was the devil and there was like skulls popping out in their visions.
Yeah, yeah,
Whoever thought that up was great. I laughed so hard, I swear.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it's interesting how they got turned around and got going on the wrong way down that highway. That was okay. Here we go. See, it says the robber was Gary Riley, and that's a guy. Interesting. He must have had long hair because this said the
Yeah.
robber is Gary Riley, and he's a man now. He is, but he could have been. Anyway, anyway.
And it's not spelled Gerrie or
Well, I see his picture.
Gerry.
I see his picture.
Yeah, but half the time they do those pictures and the wrong people.
True. Let's see. He was in Stand By Me.
Be the
And
right
he did a
age.
portrayal of Dale Frazier in the 1987 comedy Summer School. I think I might have seen that on HBO or something, or that sounds more like a Cinemax movie. I don't know. Sounds like it might be a. And then it says that
Summer
he's
School with Mark Harmon.
probably. And he says right here, it says he steals money from Steve Martin's character wallet in planes, trains, and automobiles.
Okay, I was wrong. I could have sworn that was a girl.
And as a naive metalhead customer whom Ken Kessler, portrayed by Judge Reinhold, anyway, girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and Ruthless People. He was in that movie. So anyway, he's been in movies, but I'm just saying. Anyway, they must. I don't know. I thought it was a guy, but you were going by the long hair. But
Yeah, and the figure just didn't look like a guy. Granted, it was baggy clothes, but
wow. I don't know. Maybe it was done on purpose to fool us, to make us think it was a female. It's not like they ever caught him. I mean, it wasn't like we ever saw him again.
We saw him again. I know. Yeah, it was just that and gone.
But yeah, that could have been. I don't know. Maybe that was an Omaha thing where guys were more feminine back then. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know what. I don't know. I mean, if you're that feminine in Omaha, you get hung, or you'd really get the business if you were in the Bible Belt. Try and look.
Yeah,
that kind of nonsense back then, if you know what I mean. It wasn't exactly in the middle of Bible Belt, and you're trying to pull that off. But anyway, yeah. But they get turned around, and I get, they're driving down that high, it's interesting, he thinks the other guy's drunk, trying to tell him he's going the wrong way. He makes that, I like that hand thing he makes like he was drinking,
yeah.
And then he looks to see these two semis coming at him. It's like, oh shit. And even, I mean, it's kind of weird now. I mean, I guess today they would have that CGI to them as skeletons make it look like a lot better, but still from what you saw, it looked pretty decent, right? I mean, the skeleton portrayal driving those cars and having their fingers dug into the dash.
Oh, I know.
As they go.
But hey, you can buff all that out. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, you can buff all that out. Yeah. Yeah, he always had these easy solutions. Dell did. Yeah, just buff that out. No matter, the car's completely totaled. So, yeah.
I don't get it. The car caught on fire and the whole thing basically burned to a crisp. And yet they still were able to drive it.
Well, it
had a throwback to me to Smokey and the Bandit. Where the main patrol car was like on twigs and bubble gum holding it together.
Well, yeah, you're right, but it seemed like the whole car did not burn, just the back seat. And I mean, just not the engine, but the rest of it, like the interior.
Yeah.
And it did, get, unfortunately, as Neil was laughing about something happening to him, to Del, wow, something finally happened to you. And then Del's like, oh, your wallet in the car? It's all burned. So that's, because we saw him put his car in. I didn't understand why he put his wallet in the glove compartment in the first place. But
I didn't get that either. But I know a lot of people that do that.
Well, if you can feel that lump in your butt, and you're trying to sleep and it's uncomfortable. But I guess I'm used to it because I don't really have a problem with the wallet in my back pocket and sitting down and whatever. But he's wearing a suit too. And plus, he's Noah.
True.
Maybe that's part of his routine. I take the wallet out of my pants, but I just didn't. I mean, I guess since I don't do that, I didn't get it. As a guy, I didn't. I don't take my wallet out just if I'm in a car because first of all, I keep my wallet with me at all times.
Yeah.
I don't put it. It's like, I mean, I'm not thinking my car's going to catch on fire, but what if I forget it? My wallet and the door's unlocked and my wallet's in the glove compartment.
Oh yeah.
I just keep. I just keep it with me at all times, especially if I'm on the road like that. You're on the road. You don't, and you're in a rental car, and you're with Dell. So I mean, why would you put your wallet I mean, since I don't do it, I didn't understand it. Maybe other guys do, but I do not understand it. I mean, that part of it. But he did leave it in there, and it caught on fire, and then they somehow were able. Well, at least Neil was able to finagle a room when he was trying to get that. I like how he was doing all these burnt credit cards. Here's a credit card. Here's a credit
Oh
card.
God.
Here's a credit card. And then somehow he gets by with what? How much was that? And a very good watch.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that.
And then
Was,
Dell had, what was it, a Casio or something?
he didn't. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had one of those cheap watches. Like, yeah. But so yeah. But he didn't have enough to get a room, Dell. So
When did you, if you can remember, when did you start getting the impression that Dell was actually hiding something?
it has been so long since I watched it to try to catch those things. But I think it was, I don't know. He just had that look.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't catch him like right away. I mean, we're still talking the 80s. I mean, I'm trying to watch something. So, I can't keep using that as an excuse, but you're right. When did I notice something was wrong? When he would say things like, I haven't been home in a long time, or I haven't been long, whatever he said about not being home. And that kind of, you catch those things when you watch enough mysteries and stuff. So, and here's Neil's watch. That's the watch he traded in right there. So, it sounds fancy.
With 18 karat gold.
So that's the watch that he had.
Okay,
Plus,
why can I read the stuff that you just put up, but in Saturday morning when it gets thrown up for the sports stuff, I have to pull up my own because I can't read it.
What are you? Okay, ask me that question again, please.
I was able to read what you threw up on the screen about the watch perfectly.
Right. Okay.
But when we do the Saturday morning show and the stuff is put up for the parables, I can't read it.
I understand that. But you got to understand, I zoomed in on just a little section of that page.
Oh, okay.
Whereas when we're doing the comparables, it's like half a page or more, because we have to scroll down when we're doing it on Sports Talk.
Okay. Because it's just easier for me to pull it up.
They probably could zoom in if they wanted to.
They've had to a few times for Speedy, because I don't think he has real great eyesight with that. But
well, are you on your phone, or do you use a laptop when you're online, or?
Majority of the time I'm on my phone. I have a laptop. It just does not like me.
Being on the phone too doesn't, I mean, it's going to be a smaller screen, and plus you're not going to be able, even if you brought up the website yourself, you'd be switching back and forth all the time. Whereas,
well, that's what I do normally right now anyway.
With a laptop, you can at least bring that up in a separate tab. So all you're doing is bouncing back between the tab for the Sports Talk and the tab with the NFL comparables and whatever else you want. But if you're using a phone, that's really, really difficult to keep doing, because it seems like you're logging out of everything and going back in, because I don't know how your phone works, but I use the computer because I'm doing more things on here than just, like with the opening, the loading up videos and stuff like that. So, but I'm just saying, we still got to get you to figure out how to change your name on and that's very simple.
I know. I need to figure that out.
It's like I always say, once you figure it out, it's easy.
Yeah.
But I'm just, So that's that's it. I mean, if you were on with your laptop, then you just could switch back between tabs when it was your turn. That way you could read it from your own page, the comparables, and then go back to the sports talk, tab or the separate website, right? Then you can switch back and forth that way. But
Yeah.
phone, it's more difficult. Plus, you're trying to read with that small screen too.
Oh, I don't have a problem with that because I read all
don't
my
you?
books
You
on.
don't?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I'm an avid reader, and I have probably about 5,000 books.
Oh, yeah.
Majority of them in storage. On my phone right now, I have a
Oops.
little under 1,000.
Huh. Well, oh yeah, well, doing Kindle is one thing, but doing a web page, I'm just okay. It doesn't matter. If you can see that fine. I'm just saying, it's just more. You get that smaller screen there.
Oh, hey, that's me.
Well, if you look
How'd
at
you
the
do
bottom,
that?
if you look at the bottom, the very bottom where you have our tabs beneath the main thing,
Yeah.
click those. I mean, so you see where you are. Click those three dots, and you'll be able to. You'll see edit name.
Okay, there's all I've got is comments, stream to your audience settings, and cancel.
I think Roger says something about not having all the settings when you're on a phone.
Oh, okay.
So I think he said, I forget who he said that to, but I think I remember him saying that now. But if you were on your laptop,
On the
whatever,
laptop,
and
do
you
it.
click those three dots, plus when you first log in, you should see that screen where it says it has your name. So when you first come on, and it says, you entered the studio, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it says. Well, you should see your name right there, and you just erase that and retype over it, and then move on to the next part.
Okay, I'll have to try that because you're the first person that's able to get this.
I mean, I know
This account.
I know I'm supposed to show you that, but still, when you first get on the StreamYard and before you enter and you hit the enter the studio, right?
Yeah.
Well, the first box that shows is you and your name, right?
Right.
So then that's where you can change your name right away. You just wipe all that out and type what you want, and then you move on to where you test your speakers and your mic if you need to. I mean, I guess using a cell phone, you might not have to do that all the time, but I'm just,
Yeah.
But right there on that first screen when you first log into, or you first enter the studio, before you enter the studio, when you're doing all those settings, that first screen has your name in that box, and you can just do whatever the hell you want. So
Okay.
but I'm just
Because
saying,
for
if you're
different programs, I'm different things for different programs. So it's
yeah, you're
definitely
right. They're
helpful.
not all they all have different things, but that's where, anyway, like I said, you can change it right there once you enter the studio, and right there's your name, and you can just, that box, and has your picture too, that picture that you're using.
Right.
So and plus, but anyway,
Yeah. Thank you.
but that's the name you want
Yeah.
for
Just leave
now.
that there for right now, and then I'll progress.
But I capitalized it for you, so it looked like I knew what I was doing, maybe. But yeah, but I knew we were supposed to go over that. But you should. I don't know what. I mean, I have never. I mean, I don't think I've ever used my cell phone to go online to do the show. I mean,
Really?
well, the screen's so small, and plus, I could have a hard time reading the comments.
I guess I'm kind of the opposite. I prefer the smaller screen.
Well, that's fine
It makes
if
things
you like.
clearer for me.
Well, that's fine if you like the small ones. That's fine, but I can't read the comments.
Yeah, stuffing my fist in
Uh-oh.
my mouth right now because of
Yeah,
a comment you just made.
yeah. Well,
I'm trying to be a good girl. I'm trying to be a good girl.
you'll get me back later. So, but anyway, now that we've done 101 StreamYard,
Back to the show. Thank you for the intermission.
Well, you did ask me that, and it just popped into my brain to change it. So that's what I did. I changed it for you, and I forgot. I think that he did say. But anyway, you'll get, if you popped on with your laptop for like one time, you'd be able to do all that crap.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look at that.
And Tanya says, "What I find annoying is that guy with the hat and the goatee. He is very
Safari doesn't
annoying."
support-
Oh,
I have to
not say
use
that.
my
It
phone.
says, "Yeah, Safari doesn't support StreamYard, and I have to use my phone." Grr. There we go.
Oh,
We got to get our grr on. But yeah, I don't know. I guess that's yeah. I don't know. I don't use Safari, so I wouldn't know. But that's unfortunate for you, Tanya. That not all platforms support everything. And that's unfortunate. But that every time like both of you, Liz said, that everything's different. And I say that too. I mean, everything has different crap, and you have to do different shit. I mean, different stuff to log in and get things going. I mean, that's not universal like it should be. Is what I'm trying to say. Is that everything should, but everybody wants to have their own thing. So, you have to. It's unfortunate, and I'm sorry about that, Tanya. That you have to use your phone. Grr. So, yeah. So I guess I don't know what kind of laptop you have and what you're running, but I don't know if you. I mean, it's even annoying too. You have to change all your if you have to change your search engine just to you know log on to something. That's kind of stupid too. Everything,
yeah.
like I said, not like as we all know, Apple and IBM, or whatever. Microsoft does not, you know, play nicely sometimes either. So or other things. But anyway, we really got off the beaten track here. So let's see. Okay, she's an Apple brat. Well, I guess maybe you. No.
I'm a Dell girl.
Well, my first computer was an Apple back in the mid '80s. I liked it. I mean, even though it was one of those, I think it was an Apple II. And all I know is that you had to keep loading floppy disks to keep going. So it was like some kind of game where change your floppy. And luckily, I had two disk drives. But anyway, that was back in the day when floppies were what 7 1/4, those big floppy things.
Oh God, I think I still have some of those
Yeah,
around.
yeah. Well, maybe they're sized down from the bigger ones, but they were for the. But anyway, you had to keep putting them all in, and I had no trouble with my Apple. I mean, and I had no trouble, going between Apple and Microsoft. You just same thing, but just the same button, but call it a different thing. I mean, command control. Come on, I mean, really, how confusing can that be?
Anyways, back
And
to the show.
Apple had those icons, so I didn't have to worry about command and control all the time. But anyway, I'm not saying everything against Apple. I mean, I started out with an Apple, but then switched to the IBM clone for some reason. I can't remember why. But anyway, where were we? Woo, that was fun. But that's to be expected. If you've listened to this show before or any of our shows, you know that we never stay on track. Well, I guess
Squirrel.
Jay and I did for the most part, but
Yeah, you guys seem to.
yeah, yeah. Well, we had a mind, and we were like, well, we're talking about Better Call Saul, so boom, let's go in. Sometimes we met, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Where did we leave off at? Do you remember, Liz?
The car had burned.
You
They
know, the car
had
was burned,
gotten.
they were at the hotel, the other
Yeah, they were at the
hotel,
hotel with the burned
and
cars
Dell
in the
was
lot.
was sitting out in the car, and Neil took pity on him and had him come in the room. That was just like one of the first real bro moments, wasn't it? When he came in and they started drinking
Yeah,
the refreshments that probably cost $5 a bottle, or did they go somewhere?
usually.
Well, I mean, they got it
No.
out of that whatever you want to call it, the alcohol bar or fridge or whatever. Well, that apartment, well, that place probably had
Uh,
a
I've
little
never
fridge.
seen any hotel back then that would have a full 4-pack or a 6-pack of minis like that with
Well, I'm
different.
just saying, where did they go to get it? Was there a liquor store and within walking distance? I mean,
Probably there normally is.
but maybe we're not supposed to pay that much attention to it. Or maybe the
Yeah, I
guy
think
at the
that's
front desk.
overthinking.
Maybe the guy at the front desk sold 4 packs out, from behind the desk. Yeah, you $10. You can have it. Charge them double, like they would anyway. But anyway, it was the first bro moment, right? That's when they were actually talking and getting along. They weren't on each other's nerves at this time, right?
Correct.
And that's where, isn't that where, Dell let some things. He said things that you would, if you were paying attention, would lead you to believe that, well, maybe there's something going on here, like you mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because remember he said, well, I haven't been home in forever, and then it said, well, I mean, it seems like forever, because heat or whatever. It's a lot of things
Yeah.
that he dropped, and if you were paying attention, if you looked at it as a comedy, you would probably just skip over it because you wouldn't think anything's coming on later on. Really, I mean, it was because most comedy, well, not all comedies, but anyway, he was dropping things, and if you were paying attention, or even if you weren't, you should still be able to tell by the look in his eyes.
Yeah.
And plus, didn't that first fight they had at the one motel, he said something about, well, my wife loves me, and my wife,
Uh-huh.
blah blah blah. He was,
Exactly.
I mean, he was really talking about how his wife, and I don't know who his wife was, but she must have really have been a forgiving person to put up with this personality for, or maybe I don't know. Everybody has somebody, I guess. So maybe she didn't mind. Maybe she's, that's just him. That's just Dell. So, But anyway, anyhow, yeah, he was, he went off on that too with the first hotel. Really got defensive, and when Neil was really bad mouthing him, talking about how slobby he is and putting his underwear in the sink and
Oh, that whole thing was so disgusting.
and his wet towels were on the floor. And I keep thinking, well, why didn't Neil pick those up before he got in the shower? I mean, me, it's like, okay, those things weren't those things there before, or was was Dell using the mirror while he was in the shower? I mean, you know what I mean? They were both in there at the same time.
No, I don't think they were both in there at the same time. No.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
I think Dell went in there first, and then
right. I know what you're saying, but then why? But I'm just saying, with the stuff on the floor, why didn't he move it before he got in the shower instead of not going yuck? Because it's like, for me, I mean, I wouldn't want to touch it anyway, but still, I would remove it so when I got out, I wouldn't slip and fall.
Yeah, no, you're right. I didn't think about that, but maybe that's too deep a thinking.
Maybe that's something else we're not supposed to.
Or maybe the whole scene of him wiping his face with Dell's underwear blurted out of my brain.
Oh my gosh! Yeah.
That was so horrible.
Yeah, I put that GIF, and I found some GIFs out there that were pretty cool. I found that Underwear GIF, and I put that in the opening intro there. But yeah, that was. Yeah, I don't know what I would do if I had other guy's underwear on my face that I knew was dirty.
No.
And I don't know why it was in the sink. I don't know if he thought it was I don't know if he left it to dry, but didn't think that Neil would want to use the sink. I don't understand. To me, that was very inconsiderate of Dell to leave his underwear in the sink.
No, I mean, I know that when you've been stranded, you can take your underwear off and wash them and then let them dry and then put them back on, because who wants to wear, 2-day-old underwear? I get that, but to let it stay there, ugh.
Yeah, but they usually have rungs to hang the stuff, or you can hang the stuff on the flower rod, right? Then, I mean, because once Neil got out and that stuff, I don't know if it would dry overnight, because it seems like they were awful soaked, and I don't think, to me, it's like, I don't know if that'd be enough time for them to dry.
That's why you go put them over the heater.
Well, the sink is not the heater.
Well, true.
So they're far from the heater, and there probably should be a heater or a little heater on the floor or somewhere in the. Anyway, I guess that was just another thing that annoyed Neil, was that Dell threw his stuff all over the floor and in the sink.
And might have been his shit. Who knows?
Another one of those bits where, okay, another thing to annoy Neil. Something, Dell did, because I'm thinking that, Dell's not even used to having anybody, traveling with anybody, even though and he just got in the habit of being that way because, well, no one's with me, so who gives a crap where I throw my stuff, right? Even though I don't think I'd get that sloppy if I was by myself for a long period of time. I was like, you know what I mean?
I don't think I'd
Plus-
ever get that
But
sloppy.
anyway, it was part of it was part of the thing to annoy Neil, which it did. And that was just something building up and building up, and then and if you look at the background behind me, you can tell the difference between them right there in that photo, the way Steve Martin looks and the way John Candy looks, and that's exactly what the movie was like, because that's the way Steve Martin looked the whole way through the movie. I mean,
Oh yeah.
that was his face the whole time, traveling with Adele, trying to get to Chicago, and they're flying way off course and everything else, and they're in Omaha of all places, and they didn't go there to get insurance, so it was probably a wasted trip, and the taxi car and everything else, and then the motel thing. It was all one big adventure after another.
Cluster F.
Yeah. Yes.
I liked when the big rig finally came and the truck driver's like, well, he doesn't like people riding in his cab, and they wind up being in the back.
Yeah. Was that before or after they were riding in the truck? Relative of Neil, or Neil knew the guy, and they got in that truck with Owen, and he wanted his wife that was going to carry that trunk, saying, "Oh, she might be small, but she's strong." And they're like, "No, we got it. And they were in the bed of the truck trying to get to the train station.
Oddly enough, I don't remember that part.
Well,
why don't I remember that part?
Because he was the redneck part. He had chew or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
He was snuffing, and then his wife was sitting there, and she got out, and she's like this tiny little thing, and he's saying, "Hey, what are you doing in there? Get there and put their trunk in the back," and they're like, that's well, you've seen Dell's trunk, and he wants her to do it by herself, and that's when he's saying, "Oh, don't let that size fool you. She's a strong one," but they actually did put it in the bed of the truck, and then they were trying to catch that train, and then he told them, "Well, you're going to the wrong train unless you're cattle."
Oh, that was later.
Okay, but yeah, okay, never mind. Then I'm off course. But yeah, you're right with the rig. Then they arrived in the back of that. And plus, what happened? What bad thing is? I think it was the refrigerated truck, right?
Yeah. When who was it?
So
it was Neil that was saying, "Make sure it's warm" or something. It's like, no, you're in the back.
Yeah, and so it's wintertime, and you're in a refrigerated truck or whatever, semi-trailer. So that had to have been a fun trip. What was the trucker taking them there? They're already in Omaha. Were they taking them to meet his relative then?
Well, if I remember correctly, one of the signs I saw, they were like 100 miles out of Chicago, and they were going to be there in 3 hours. So no, that was the last scene.
Okay, because I remember. I'm trying to. Yeah, we watched this movie. Don't you worry. We are your guides to this movie. You can tell that we actually remember what we watched. To be honest, I just watched it once. So I usually watch it more than that, but I just watched it once.
Really?
I keep thinking,
I'm going on memory. I'll be honest with you, for a lot of stuff. I did speed through and not watch it, but kind of speed through things, as I'd seen the movie so many times.
Yeah, well, I thought
I didn't really rewatch it.
Well, I thought since we were supposed to, review this thing, that I should watch it at least once. I usually watch it more than that, but like you, well, I've been watching this thing on and off for over 30 years.
Yeah.
I should remember what the heck I'm talking about, but no.
It's like, don't ask me to do the breakdown of Titanic, or I'll just play you the whole movie.
I'm getting too old, I guess, to remember things, details like that.
Yeah.
So, and as you can tell, nothing says Thanksgiving like Iron Maiden. See, nothing. But anyway, well, I was wearing these shirts before we did the horror thing, and then I started wearing different kind of shirts. But anyway, I don't know why I started wearing these metal shirts. Oh, I know why, because they were just sitting in my closet doing nothing. So I thought,
hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
I should wear these sometimes because they're sitting in my. Well, I think I went to this concert in 19, before the pandemic in Pittsburgh. So,
I thought you were going to say 1900.
well, if they were around back then, I might have went.
Yeah.
Back in the last century. I was way back in the last century. But no, it was like 19. I think it was 18 or 19 just before the. Well, no, it was not. It had to be 17. It was 17 because it could not be 18 or 19 for a certain reason. So it's 17.
Or those of us that snuck in.
What's that?
You're talking about age?
No, I'm just saying I saw them in 2017.
Oh, okay.
I guess I could have saw them when I was 17, but no, I'm sorry for the confusion. No, I saw them in 2017.
Oh, okay. That was still working too much at that point.
But anyway, I went and saw them there. No, that is fake. I'm getting my concert confused. I saw them in Tennessee, Nashville. Yeah, we went to Nashville because they weren't going to be in Ohio, and they weren't going to be anywhere near Ohio unless we went. So we had three places: Chicago, Philadelphia, or Nashville. And since my dad lived near Nashville, I decided, well, if we go see Dad, we don't got to pay for a hotel room, right? Yeah.
Yeah, good thinking.
And it's like, you can see your grandpa, it hasn't been a while. So we went down to stay with my dad, and we drove 40 minutes to Nashville where they play where they have concerts, the Bridge Arena or whatever it's called. But anyway, doesn't matter. It was 17. We went to Nashville. So that was kind of cool. So it's kind of funny because you're wearing metal stuff and the whole city's country. All the bars, everything are nothing but country stuff, and you're walking.
Oh yeah.
With your Iron Maiden shirt. You're out of place if you leave the arena and start going downtown. It's like, well, you know what I mean. I don't know if you know what I mean, but
Oh, I do know what you mean. I've got several friends that live there, and my very good friend is actually packing to leave. They just had a house built there.
Okay. I'm just saying the country motive. I mean, right across the street from the arena was at least one country museum. I don't know. They probably have a lot of them, but anyway, it was back in 17, and it was kind of out of place if you left the arena because of the country motive downtown Nashville. So, but but they didn't get. We still went. We didn't get any. They probably didn't care because they probably see it all the time since the arena probably has lots of metal, a lot of different types of bands going there.
Yeah, Nashville's opened up a lot to different music.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that's where we went, and it was a fun time. I didn't, we got there a little early before the show, so we were able to wander around downtown and check out the country scene. That was the motive, and check out some country bars and stuff like that without getting our asses kicked. So I thought it was a win-win, So, like I said, they must have, okay, we've seen this before. And who knows, maybe some of them were also metalheads, and they just, all right, that's cool. But anyway.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I'm not saying everybody's country, but still, it was a fun time. The concert. That's right, Ghost opened for Iron Maiden. That's what it was. I saw Slipknot in Pittsburgh. That's where, okay. Well, Pittsburgh is only, an hour and a half from me, flying down the highway at 80 to 100 miles an hour. Yeah, so I can get there. It's just a straight shot once you get on the highway. But anyway, where were we? Oh, we were talking about a movie. And we keep getting sidetracked. I keep getting us sidetracked. I'm sorry about that.
Oh, you're as bad as I am.
But anyway, so they're having a house built there. Is it done then?
Oh, yes, completely. Her husband already went back with one load of stuff, and she's packing up stuff. They live in San Diego, so they're...
Wow, that's quite a move.
Yeah.
So is this for a job then?
No, it's something they've wanted for a very long time.
Are they going to be country singers?
Well, they're actually... It's funny you should mention that. She actually did a lot of jingles for commercials in the 70s and 80s. Her husband
Okay.
is a drummer for a very popular Christian rock band and
Okay.
has subbed in a lot of different rock bands just in general, including Iron Maiden. Her oldest son, is a drummer as well and does a lot of studio work.
Okay.
So, and her father actually used to be best friends with Dean Martin.
Oh, okay. From Steubenville. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So,
Yep, Steve Martin and Jerry Lewis.
hmm both she and my husband were actually in the opening ceremonies for the LA Olympic Games.
No, that's what 84 or 80,
84.
84. Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't let Russia come, so they came with a different name as usual. They just changed their identity. Yeah, we're not going to be Russia, but you can't call us Russia, but we'll use this new name. But anyway, back when East Germany would send these bulky women, kind of.
hmm But then they had some really, really beautiful little petite ones too.
Yeah, yeah,
I
they
mean, look at
did.
Nadia Comaneci, you know?
Well, she was more. Well, she was. Well, she was still part of the commun. Yeah, the satellites when it was the Soviet Union. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But that's the joke about these Germans that they were the women. They were like these big hulking things. Then you
Oh, yeah.
thought, oh my gosh, how much steroids did these people take? But anyway,
I'm
I'm
not
not.
entirely sure they were women. I think it was the first attempt at having women, or excuse me, men participate in women's sports, personally.
Uh,
I've
well,
kind of
you'll think
always thought that.
some kind of experimentation by the Russians or the commies back then.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It was only,
Okay,
what, 20 some years um,
of them
since
doing
World
that.
War II. And
Yeah.
well, no, it was only 20 some years, in the 60s and 70s after World War II, with a lot of with the experimentation that was done then. And I don't want to get off onto this subject, or I'll get us both banned.
Oh wow. Well, it's fun. And, I don't know if Tanya's still listening. She's probably going, "What the hell are these people talking about now?"
That's why we need to figure out to get back to doing, instead of shooting our little furry friends, spraying our little furry friends talk show.
The one that we did in the morning
Yes,
on Sunday,
yes,
that got bust for some reason people didn't like,
yes.
whined about, and you and I did not agree with anything that happened then.
Nope.
But that's neither here nor there. But real quick here, Tanya, I sent you that link. But so, are you a Perez fan? Because I thought I sent you the link since you joined us for the Batman show. But it seemed like you did enjoy that link to the Perez site. And I know they're going to ask you questions, and I didn't answer them. But then like today, after a day or so, I got admitted to the group. So I guess they're not too particular about answering all the stupid questions. Like some groups, you know how some groups want you to answer questions before they, like
They banned me
it's like,
until I answered the question.
well, I know I didn't answer them because I don't think I knew all the answers. So I just
I
said,
didn't.
so
I
screw it.
didn't
The next
look.
thing you
I
know, it says,
didn't pay attention. I
yeah,
didn't
all I
look.
know is
I'm like,
I
okay.
got a message that, hey, congratulations, you've been, member of the legendary thing with Perez. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, it's a nice site, but I mean, they wanted knowledge that I didn't want to look up, and anyway, it doesn't matter. So anyway, where are we? We're in the car.
Let's finish this movie.
We're in the semi. We're going to trying to get to Chicago. No, I can't remember. How did we get to the truck though? When was
It
that?
was. It was after, I think, they stepped out of the second motel, and he comes
Oh,
pulling up. Dell
the
comes
one that
pulling
they
up in
drove,
the
the one
truck.
that they made a drive-through.
Oh yeah, I remember that now.
Remember they had the cars on fire, and then they backed into
Yeah,
it, and then they just hauled ass because
hauled ass out. Yeah,
because they busted in that window and just, oh my gosh, and they just took off because they had enough trouble as it was. 'Cause that's the
and then
hotel where they had to trade barter with the guy. At least Neil was able to barter with the guy, but
Yeah, and then the cop pulls him over because nothing is running.
yeah, Michael McKean. Yeah, you might know
Yeah.
him. He's a very he's also I mean a very good character actor.
Yeah, we
So
lost him, what, about 10 years ago?
what's that?
We lost him about, what, 10 years ago?
Who?
Michael McKean.
Right, because he was just in Better Call Saul. Yeah, you're
He
right.
was?
No, we did not lose him. He's still alive.
Yes? Okay, I
Yep.
could have sworn that he
I
had died
remember,
like 10
I
years
remember
ago.
seeing him. I saw him in Spinal Tap, that movie, and then I saw him when he was on X Files. That character he played was
Oh,
awesome.
God, yeah.
X Files. That was great to see him in that one. Then I don't know where I saw him again. I think, but me and I seen him for sure on Better Call Saul because he was Saul's brother. So, but here we go
I know
again.
you keep trying to get me to watch that. Both you and Jay have tried to get me to watch that one, and I probably should.
Eh, if you like Breaking Bad, you'd like this one. But
Yeah, I do. So,
I'm just saying, whatever you need to know. You don't got to watch it all at once. I mean, no one's forcing you to binge watch it because it take you forever. But catch one or two
hey,
here and see what happens.
I binge watch all of Supernatural umpteen times.
I'm at my 20th umpteen. I'm doing it right now.
Oh, where you at?
I'm on season 12.
Oh,
Where are you at?
this time around, I think I'm right around the end of 4, starting 5.
Okay, so you're still in the good part of the series. Okay.
I liked everything but that final season, and that final season was too screwed up because of COVID.
Yeah, now that you can look back at hindsight, like, yeah, I could have waited a year for them to finish this thing up proper.
Yeah, and I
You know,
think they all wanted to, but they all had other projects.
well,
You
plus you
know?
had the CW being bought out, so who knows when it were, if they
Yeah.
would have a home for. I mean, they might have, and well, it depends because if you go to a streamer, they're not going to let you do 22 episodes.
No.
Netflix is going to say, well, you know what? Yeah, you can do 22. No, we need you can do 10 or 12 if you're lucky, and then out the door. And then
Eh,
Netflix will cancel you in the middle of it, so you can't finish it. So
yeah, I know. It's like one of the shows that I think we got you into was The Ark. And a lot of people had said at the first, well, why are there only 12 episodes? And we're like, people, we got granted a grace by getting 12 episodes because it's normally 8 to 10 and that's it, even with things like Star Trek.
yeah,
So for this new show to come out of the gate at 12, we got a big grace.
The majority of the people are like 5 or 6 years into streaming. They should be used to these small seasons. I mean, yeah, the CW was able to hang on with doing 22, except for which properly bankrupt them. But they did, they did a regular like a network, 20 some episodes.
Yeah.
And I think that but Sci-Fi always did limited series like that too. They didn't do 22, did they? All the time?
Not that I can remember. And it's been a long time since. By Sci-Fi, do you mean the Sci-Fi Channel or Sci-Fi in general?
Sci-Fi Channel. Yeah, I don't know. If
it's been up until The Ark. It's been a long time since I watched anything series-wise on the Sci-Fi Channel.
All right, I'm just asking. I don't know. I mean, I don't watch much on the Sci-Fi since they don't show Sci-Fi usually, but The Ark was Sci-Fi, and then, like you said, well, somehow I got involved in it, so I don't know what the hell happened. I got sucked into it somehow.
We sucked you in.
Yeah,
you're
did.
ours.
Gave you some Comet
we
water.
Assimilated you. No, we used the Comet water and we assimilated you.
You used Comet water, and I woke up like, what the hell? But anyway, I'm wearing one of Jag's Ark hats. I mean, what the hell?
Are you really?
No, I'm just kidding. I woke up with the Ark hat. But anyway, Jesus. We might finish this before the night's over. But remember, unfortunately, people, Liz and I are night owls, so we can keep going and going because we don't sleep at night.
True.
Well, unless you normally, I mean, we doze on. I think we both. Well, I don't know. I just doze on and off. I don't know when I'm
I'm
going.
the same way.
I'll doze off for a few hours and wake up like because you say, "Don't you sleep?" Well, I'll tell you, I was dozed off for 2 hours and I woke up and you were still on, so I messaged you. I mean, you
Yeah,
know,
I'm the same way. It's like before our Saturday morning show, half the time I have been up all night and the whole day before. So
yeah,
like I'll force myself to go crash for 2 or 3 hours before, later.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'll be. It depends. I don't know. I'll be watching something. Next thing you know, I'm asleep and wake up. Oh, okay. I've missed 3 episodes of this, or 4 or 5. So anyway, boom, boom, boom. We're in the truck, the semi. We're in the semi. Where are we going? Trying to get to Chicago. We want to go home to see our families, and we can't because we're in this truck. It's refrigerated with beer, I believe. I'm not sure if it's a beer truck or not, but it's a beer truck. You'd be drinking back there too. It'll be too cold to drink because then it's beer and you'd be freezing. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Where are we going? We're trying to get to Chicago. Where does the semi drop us off at? Because we just smashed through a hotel and they have no credit card information to charge our card to fix it. So we're running away from vandalism. So, and we catch the semi, right? Maybe isn't the semi taking us to where the truck is for his relative or whatever, that Owen guy? Because they're trying to get to. I can't because they're trying. How? Why were they? They're trying to get to that train, or did they have to catch that semi to get to the where the actual train was, but carries passengers? Yeah, we watched the movie. Don't worry about it. So I'm trying to think of what happened here. But anyway, do you remember, Liz? Or did you disappear again? So,
Can you hear me?
what'd you do now?
Nothing. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. No, I was trying to think where it was too, and that whole area gets blurry because I
Yeah.
thought where the truck let them off was their final stop in Chicago where they separated.
Holy crap. So, this watch that Neil gave the the clerk is a 4,000, close to $5,000 watch now.
Yeah.
So it's like 18 karat gold.
Yeah, I read that when you pulled it up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it more than well, I guess it would more than cover the damage. Well, I
Oh,
mean,
easily.
I don't know if I was worth 8,000 or 4,000 back then, but still, with inflation and unfortunately, the guy would be out a good watch. You couldn't wear it around
I don't
anymore.
think he cared.
He probably didn't. He probably just put some plastic over it and said, air conditioned.
Yep.
So anyway, gosh, I'm glad we remembered what this, you know. So anyway, okay, let's see. So Owen tells them unless they're cattle, they can't catch that train. So somehow they find that semi, right?
Yeah, and that's the whole part that gets blurry. It all kind of blurs together because I remember them having an issue with the train and them getting off, and they both got off like one had got off the economy and one got off like the higher ended passengers. They kind of met there
Yeah.
on the and then I don't really remember anything else after that
Okay, I
except for
don't
the
think.
truck.
Okay, they didn't. I don't think they caught a ride with Owen. I think they had to wait at that motel for a ride because he wasn't going to take them to where they needed to go.
Okay, so it was the truck that brought them all the way
Yeah,
back into
Owen was there, but
Chicago.
then Owen was saying you can't unless you're cattle. You can't ride that train. You have to go way out here. So they were
Okay.
waiting in the parking lot of that wherever they met Owen, and then I think that's when uh, Dell or someone said, "Hey, I found us a ride in this truck," and that's
It
how.
was Dell.
And then that's what was taking them to the passenger train, so we could put that name in the title. So yeah. So I think they drove that coal truck all the way to where that passenger train was. Correct? If I'm not
I
mistaken,
think
that took them all the way there, and then
yeah.
somehow they were able to get on that train. which was supposed because this was their final journey, right? This is going to
Right,
take them all the way
because
to Chicago, right? This is taking them
right,
to Chicago.
because when you see them together, they're at like a train platform where they're getting off and saying
Yeah,
goodbye.
yeah, right. So anyway, they get on the train so we can have that third add trains to the title because planes, trains, and automobiles. So you've already had the plane, you had the automobile. Now it's time for the train, and this is so I'm not quite sure if they had any hijinks on the train or not. If they just actually took them to Chicago and they finally got home, I can't. I mean, I'm sure Neil was still being not Neil, but I'm sure Dell was still doing stuff to annoy Neil. That would would annoy him, but you know.
Yeah. All I remember from that is a little kid running up and down the aisle of the train.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right. That little kid that would be annoying enough without anything else. This kid running around, probably screaming too. Who knows what he was doing? But yeah. Boo boo boo. Let's see. Yeah, the train part. That's the ending part. It's getting
Yeah.
toward the ending here. I don't. Let's see. The train scene was where this was filmed in the South Dayton train station, which I believe was in.
Ohio.
No, it's not. There's
No?
no South. No, it's no. That they were Buffalo.
Hmm.
At least this is what this was telling me. I don't know. I thought that was the North Dakota part. But anyway, it doesn't matter. They're on their way home. Then they're on the train and they get off the train, of course, and they say their goodbyes, right? See you
Yeah.
around and all that
And
stuff. And
they
I
leave and
don't
they
know.
go their separate ways.
Oh yeah, then Dale's like, I need your address so I can send you what I owe you. Because he's always doing that. I'll pay you.
Yeah.
I'll get you back. And I don't think Neil gave it to him, so
He didn't.
he just walked off and left. And he got on a subway or not subway, but a train to take him in to where
Yeah.
to take him into the city or take him home. So and they having flashbacks of what all the stuff that if we didn't catch it, that
It all clicked into place.
but him not being home forever and his wife. And so then we have the big tearful moment where Neil turns around to go get the big guy and finds him inside the station on a bench, right? And then he asks him, what are you doing? He goes, I have no place to go. Which always begs the question, why did he go to Chicago if he had no place to go? But that's what he was doing.
Maybe it's because he had the companionship of somebody else and he was lonely, and this is just something somebody did.
Maybe it was just nostalgia, or you're so used to. Like I said, he told him I haven't been home in years. And well, it seems forever. But that's when we find out that his wife's been dead for what, 8 years?
8 years.
So he's been on his own for 8 years. Well, there was a part in there, or wasn't he sitting on the bench saying, "Well, I did it again." I forget the wife's name, but I did it again. I had my big mouth running all the time and chased away another friend or another person, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he talking about? I can't remember his wife's name. See how well we watch these shows,
An E comes to mind. Ellen or something?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not good on names.
I know you forget mine all the time.
Yes, I do. Because I sure know it ain't Almighty.
You'll be surprised. Oh yeah, you're right. It's not. Only when I want people to know that. Only when I turn on Dean's necklace can people see me as the Almighty. So I need to do that.
Well, if Dean's necklace was summoning you as the Almighty, then it must mean that you and Rowena were going to be having a baby very shortly.
Yeah. What? It's not the not well anyway. You're thinking of the other guy, aren't you?
No, I'm talking about the actor who plays God.
Yeah. Oh, is she pregnant?
He and Ruthie are pregnant. Yes.
I knew they were a couple. I didn't know.
Yes.
I didn't see that news.
Oh yeah, she's very pregnant right now.
Okay. Well, she's such a. Well, they're both little. Well, never mind. But she's such a little thing, though. I mean, I'm not saying
she is.
can't
She's
do it.
so
I'm just saying
tiny.
she's. When you see them, I mean, all these actors. When you see them, kind of like all these. You wonder, well, where? I don't want to touch them; they'll break.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about Ruthie. She is so fragile
I'm
looking.
not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but yeah, she is, small, and which is cool. I'm just saying, I didn't know that. I guess I don't keep up with the trades as, but anyway, so he finds her. He finally finds him at the train station. And well, I guess we see the happy scene where they're walking down the road carrying this trunk.
Yep.
Right? Is that the next thing we see?
Yeah, they're walking down like the street, or wouldn't really call it an alley, but like a real long driveway or a street, and they are both carrying the trunk.
Well, yeah, when you get to a certain, when you get to those residential areas where you can actually walk down the street,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. And so, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead.
They get to the house and they just kind of set everything down and go in, and he meets the family, and that's kind of the end of it.
Yeah, but I guess the thing is that I guess it's kind of touching because he goes, "I'd like you to meet my friend." Neil says,
"Yeah,
friend," and that probably makes Dell's day. Oh
yeah,
I'm his friend. And then when Neil's wife addresses him as Mr. Griffith, hello, Mr. Griffith, no questions asked. You're here, you're going to stay. Because at first, they're walking in. Well, I'll just stay a little bit. You know how Dell was the whole time.
Yeah.
I come in for a few minutes, and Neil's like, I don't think he answered. He knew better, but yeah, But he met the family, the kids, and the grandparents.
And he called, and then he called the wife by her actual married name, not like by her first name.
Yeah. That
never did meet the baby.
No,
that makes me wonder is during filming if that was an oops, if the baby was supposed to be there but was having an issue and they had to pull back, and that was just Steve Martin rolling with it. I catch a lot of these weird things that could be.
That's a whole different. Yeah, he called her Susan Page or Mrs. whatever. Yeah, he used
Mrs. Page. Yeah,
Mrs. Page, and then yeah. Why isn't this thing telling me who his wife is? Her name? Are you sure he said it?
Yeah, I'm positive he said it.
Yeah, and he's been carrying that heavy trunk around every. So who knows? There might be a lot of mementos in that trunk. So we never see what's inside it. His whole life could be in that, but his whole.
Oh yeah.
His whole life could be.
Actually, you have a point. It could be.
He doesn't have a home for whatever reason, and so he probably just put what he could. And that's why he drags that trunk around, because that's his life. All his probably pictures, and you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
And you put that in there, and then that's your life, and you don't want to lose it. So he's always, that's why he has this big old trunk. You keep wondering, why does this guy have this big old trunk? He's, when Steve Martin just has this little, briefcase.
True.
Which gets destroyed by a car, but still.
Yeah, and I hate to do this to you, but I'm going to have to wrap this up on my end.
That's fine. We got to the end of the movie. That's all that matters.
Yeah, barely, which is funny.
It only took us an hour and 40 minutes, so we're under 2
And
hours. So that's
and
good,
we only talked about the movie for 40 minutes.
if that. I think people. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, we need to do this again, though.
As long as we have a good time, who cares? I mean,
Oh, I know.
I mean, I like talking to you. We get off track, but that's just par for.
We need to think about doing one for in the middle of the night for all the night owls.
Well, I'm up for it. We can call this one. What's up at night? Shoot the bat. And see how.
Oh no, we can't use the word shoot. Remember, shooting creatures.
Oh shoot!
You can't use that. That's what gets us banned.
Oh, people are so whiny.
Yeah, I know they are.
Yeah, but I mean, anyway. But the thing is, here's something I haven't told anyone this till now. But remember but the name of the last show? Shoot the sky, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't done with that logo. I was going to turn those two O's and shoot into shotgun barrels.
Oh God, that'd been great.
I was going to do that. That was my next step. If we would have kept going. But if you think the word got us in trouble, just think about putting an actual shotgun as part of the logo.
Yeah.
But that was my next step. I was going to make those two O's into shotgun barrels but yet it was a play on words and no one got it. They took it literally. And then unless they were being assholes. I think some are just being assholes too. I don't think, you know what I mean? You get those people out there that have nothing else to do.
Yeah, but make other people's lives miserable.
I mean, to me, I'm surprised we're somebody that saw it that got offended, because usually, we're on it and we just started. I mean, it's not like we have this big advertising budget to bring people in. So I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's all water under the bridge. But you're right. And I'm sure, hey, maybe between the two of us, we can do this because we're night owls. And why not?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, a live show at night, whatever time we do it. And,
yeah, we'll definitely have to.
We can go back and forth with our messages, or we can talk on the phone real quick and get it done.
Okay, cool. But as for right now, I'm going to leave you to choke to death, and I'm going to leave.
Well, that is fine. Well, thank everybody for putting up with our crap, and I hope you got enjoyment out of this movie. I think the next movie we're doing, this is going to be after Thanksgiving, is finally The Flash. We will finally do that next Sunday. I mean, I wanted to do this movie before Thanksgiving in case people wanted to watch it before the holiday instead of after the holiday. That's why I switched them around. But then I'm thinking, if anybody hasn't heard of it, wants to watch it, well then, if you got anything out of this, you might want to watch it. Plus, you might want to watch it since we probably confused the hell out of you. So you should watch it and set us straight is what you should do. But anyway, we got to go. Alyssa's got to go. I got to go. We got to get ready for our midnight hour show. But anyway, everybody, I'd like to thank Tanya for listening. I mean, and the comments she made, they were awesome.
Yes, thank you, Tanya.
Yes, I'm always going to go grr when I see you. And anyway, everybody have a good night. And any last words from you, Liz?
No, just I hope you guys enjoyed it and had fun with us.
Yep, and we'll see you next Sunday with The Flash, finally. Have a good week, folks. Have a happy Thanksgiving and a safe Thanksgiving. And always carry your trunk with you wherever you go. Good night.
Don't put your wallet in the glove compartment.
Yeah, don't do that. Always keep it with you at all times.
All righty. Bye.